will the roles of the team be changing at all, like the Slayers, etc.?
I believe the team, they're trying to find, a way to make it work. I believe Ricky's changing to a sub, and FizzUp's, remaining Slayin, and same with Too Quick. Right now, I'm watching them right now. They're actually running 3 subs, and they're destroying. So they're just switching off right now, just seeing what works best. That should be ready for UMG Chicago. So
another question from the chat was, what are Fear's plans, or what is Fear's plan when Moho and Assassin decide to play again, if ever?
We really haven't discussed anything like as far as roster. We're just focused on Modern Warfare 3 right now. Black Ops isn't even ones that come out 2 months from now. Like not only that, but we have huge tournaments coming up in Modern Warfare 3 that we just want to stay focused on. Like there's really no plans, period. We just know one thing. We just know that we're not trying to make no second team, because as much as we would love to, it's just not. It never works out. It worked for like a month, and then next thing you know, something just happens. Not only that, but you got to look at the financial issue as well. Just sending 8 players out there plus coaches, and it just never really works out. But
right. So right now, at this point in time, you don't know if you're coming back. You haven't talked to Assassin. I mean,
well,
what if
I
you
can
decide
speak
to play?
I can speak for myself. I do it was hard. It was a hard decision for me to even step down right now at this point in time. The only reason I stepped down is because it's the business matter. It needs to be attended to, along with APOC. He can't do it himself. And just like I said, EGL is great and everything, and these tournaments that UMG are hosting, they're great. But it's not consistent. It's not like it's what I mean. Like I want to participate in a game where it's full competition. I want to look back on Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, and say I competed when the competition was at its best. Right now, it's not at its best. I mean, we can all agree to that. Yeah. So, and I think I've heard of that of everybody's mouth. This year is a perfect year to develop a fan base. Grow. I think
this year is a very good year for amateurs to kind of come into the spotlight.
Well,
exactly.
We knew that, and as a not so competitive player, but we've discussed, we've seen it, the rise of the amateurs. That's what Modern Warfare 3 is.
Ricky, look at Ricky.
Right, and then maybe you guys can agree, Moho, your team had success on Black Ops. That when Black Ops 2 comes out, it's going to be the same few dominant teams. The amateur teams aren't really going to be, they're going to be struggling at events for like 30th place. You know what I'm saying?
This is the thing. Once you achieve that knowledge of Call of Duty, once you achieve that level, once you start going to LANs, you build that confidence, and you know how to win. You're gonna be a rising player and team, from here on out. So these amateur players, they're playing, they're grinding, they're doing the right thing, because it doesn't matter which Call of Duty. You can be good at Modern Warfare 3 as long as you achieve that level, right? That level that just you know what you need to do from now on. You know how to switch. You know how to play each role. You know what it takes to win. When Black Ops 2 comes out, it's going to be perfect for you. You're going to get picked up by top teams. You're already at that mentality. Because I remember John made a comment saying, amateur players play stupid. He didn't really go in full depth with it like he should have, because the amateur community is really sensitive when a pro player like myself or anybody even just critiques their gameplay just a little bit, because they're struggling to get out there. But what he should have said is that they're not sensitive. It's just that they want what we have. You know what I mean? So they're struggling each day, and they feel that they deserve it. So if I had to give any words to you guys out there, the amateurs that are playing, just keep doing what you're doing. It's gonna click. It clicked with every single one of us. Look at the top players now. Look at Proofy. Look at Scumpy. You know what I mean? Look at Dito. Look at Parasite. They switched games from game. They started out just like you guys, and they're at that level of success where they can just go to game and just be dominant.
Right, but do you think? Would you agree with every new franchise game or whatever that comes out, more and more players come to the competitive scene? Would you agree?
Certainly now. You know what I mean?
Well, okay. Well, I mean, the answer would be yes then, because from Call of Duty 4 there was more competitive players.
Well, there's a difference.
What was after Call of Duty 4?
There's a difference, because we've always been struggling to get teams to show up at events, and as we all know, events are the only thing that matter. Yeah, we can have 120, like we can have 2,000 teams online. But if you're going to speak in general, like as the competitive community, they need those teams need to show up to events. You know what I mean? Otherwise, in my mind, it doesn't count because events are what we need to push. You know what I mean? UMG, why isn't there more teams at UMG? That question is often asked. I've always
Well,
said maybe.
there's a few reasons why more teams aren't at UMG. That's because it's not cost effective for a West Coast player to go to Chicago.
All right. So there
That's
isn't
why-
enough money in Call of Duty.
Right, not enough money.
Well, I wouldn't say Call of Duty. I would say North America. The European scene, that scene is thriving. That scene is about to blow up. I promise you that. You know, there's too many organizations in Europe right now ready to pick up European COD teams. Why? EGL. EGL is the best event I've ever been to. MLG couldn't top that for Call of Duty. You know why? It's entertaining. There was entertainment at EGL for the spectators. We had a crowd at EGL like StarCraft, chanting, cheering, engaged, because there's entertainment on the stage.
Like,
They allow shit talk. Shit talk is a part of Call of Duty. It is Call of Duty. The only way MLG is going to make it succeed is if they allow that factor at their events. You know,
is that all that EGL offers to entertainment wise? Like, what else do they do different than MLG that helps to grow COD in Europe?
Yeah, for
Well-
people who haven't been able to attend it or watch it or don't know much about it, what other options do they have for entertainment?
they do amateur tournaments there. You know, when the stations when the competitions got up to like semifinals, the stations that you used, you know, get the loser brackets done and whatnot, they open up for amateur tournaments. You know, sponsors of the events, you know, do amateur tournaments there. You know, they do the people that exhibit there. You know, they have a bunch of tournaments going on. But what I'm trying to say is, when I've been to an MLG event, when FeaR's done playing, I've always left because it's boring.
Yeah.
It's boring. You know, I've always left the event. EGO, I didn't leave the event once. You know, I was either, you know, by FeaR or in the crowd, because it was just entertaining. It was entertaining, you know, to see the players get up and just let the emotion out. You know, let them say what they want to say. You know, and then after they finish, they all shake hands. It's sportsmanship.
Yeah, not only like if MLG, I can understand where MLG doesn't want people talking shit because they're more on the business side. They have major sponsors, and those major sponsors have a code of conduct. So I understand that. But yeah, another thing you have to look at in the MLG, you know, circuit is when you actually attend the events, they don't really allow the crowd to actually get to that full potential. You have security guards there that are complete fucking assholes. I'll be honest with you. You get close to the stage, they push you away. You know, you stand in the middle of the aisle, which isn't even an issue because everybody's sitting anyway. They get you out of it. You know what I mean? Like they kind of push the crowd away. I remember at one point that the crowd was like just doing what EGL crowd does, chanting and stuff, and they were telling them to stay silent. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was just that kind of shocked me to say the least. But I agree with APOC. EGL, they have a form of entertainment that really just, like, I watched the whole EGL stream. I don't watch the whole MLG stream. You know what I mean?
Right.
And just how they conduct themselves is really it's just all a form of entertainment. But as far as the whole shit talking thing goes, I mean that's cool, you know, but I don't know if that's really what makes EGL as entertaining as MLG. I just think that MLG needs to open up the doors a little bit and let the crowd do what they want to do. You know, I feel like I'm being conducted on what to do in the crowd. And not only that, but they have a lot of like interviews. They have a lot of, you know, the free cam, wherever they did the free cam and stuff. It's interactivity is what I'm trying to say. Like they're just interactive. And you could, like APOC said when he first went there, he said like, you know, it just feels like this is the main game. And Call of Duty is such a huge franchise game that it could be the main game. But they just don't put enough effort into it because there's no money behind it right now when it comes to like sponsors and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's just they just don't put enough effort into it. But now, since we have, you know, LAN and the full developer support, not only that, but that trailer that they just released, that's just going to open up a lot of that's going to turn a lot of heads, especially from public matches. And if they do the whole ranked lobby or the true skill ranking, that's going to be ridiculous as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what did you? I mean, since you brought that up, what did you think about it? What like factors in that multiplayer trailer actually like stood out to you?
I mean, the whole pub scene of it is, I mean, of course, they're adding a bunch of new stuff. Like, it looks like Mecha Soul, to be honest. Like, you have robots fighting robots, drones falling from the sky. To me, that doesn't really intrigue me too much. It looks like Black Ops, to be honest with you, like the shooting and everything. Which is cool. I mean, we all love Black Ops. It was a fun game to play. Um, I just one thing I did notice was like the map they were using. The maps, it just looked like there was so much. You know what I mean? Like I remember
Yeah,
COD 4 maps. It was just so basic and
yeah,
plain, and we
they were
loved that.
simplistic, and I mean,
Yeah,
they were great
exactly.
maps. They were all the
Ex-
maps were good.
exactly. I don't want to be running down an alley and then just like 15 barrels blow me up. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I don't like that. Or generators or just whatever. Just keep it. I hope they keep it simple. Can't really tell much from the preview, but obviously that ending with Astro commentating and stuff, the in-game streaming, I think that's fantastic. I mean, and not only that, but just like I said, I can't even stress that enough. David Vonderhaar for just supporting the competitive scene in general. That's gonna bring in a lot of viewers.
we hope so. I mean, we hope to get picked up by MLG again, of course, for the North American scene. So
I'm sorry. I kind of want to rewind it a little bit. Back to the events and whatever. But is there a reason that you guys had chosen to attend the UMG event rather than the Primetime Gamers event that's going on?
I
UMG just because I've been out there. I know what UMG is about. I know the management behind UMG. I know what they're trying to achieve, and I support it. So I'm gonna put fair behind it as well. Primetime Gamers. To be honest, I've never been to one of their events. I'm not really willing to put, money on the line for an event that I don't really know too much about. I don't know the
From
setup of the
what?
event. I don't know the structure behind that event.
I think
There's not.
I don't know if
Hold up. Let me finish. There's not really much coverage around primetime gamers.
Right.
At least UMG. They're clocking up around 3 to 5,000 viewers. Each event.
Right.
That's
Well, I
better
don't know.
than.
I don't know. They held that Revelations tournament before, and that was actually a pretty big tournament for
right.
us.
They hold about one pretty big event a year. How much is the
That.
payout at primetime?
they got
5,000.
5,000.
It's five
Yeah.
grand for Modern Warfare 3.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Oh, is it a
believe so.
$5 grand prize pool?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a guaranteed 5,000.
Right. I think the overall, like, they're putting out a lot more money than 5 grand. That's just for Modern Warfare 3, right?
I believe so.
How much is UMG putting out?
It's
Depends on
a
it depends on
100%
who shows
payout.
up.
Yeah,
Well,
depends
so
on
it
how
just
many teams
depends
show up.
on teams.
Yeah.
Show up.
Yeah, not
I
only
mean-
that, but the type of event UMG is running, the teams should definitely be out there because it's 100% payout. The more teams, the better payout. I don't think it's like that with Primetime Gamers. I'm really good friends with A1 who runs Primetime Gamers. It's just that I think with his events, it's kind of focused around not just Call of Duty. It's got
Right.
it's got Gears there, Madden, and all that stuff, which is perfect because that's cool. But not only that, but when we send our players out there, we're also trying to develop like capture footage and stuff, and the venue just needs to be something professionally looking. Like every PTG tournament I've ever looked at, especially with pictures. I haven't really personally been there, but the venue just isn't up to par. And it looks really sketchy is what APOC's trying to scale. Like you can't just pay for plane tickets like $400 a piece to go to an event and then not know what's going on. Not only that, but it's been running tournaments for a long time, and they just haven't hit that mark where they just continue to grow. It's like the same show up every time, and I think there's a reason behind that. UMG, on the other hand, they run tournaments, they grow, and that's because they're 100% for the players.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I guess like APOC said, APOC is gonna totally commit to going to UMG because he knows it's professional, how it's put together, etc. But me, if I knew that not a lot of top teams were gonna not show up, and I had a chance at winning 5 grand, I'd go play Primetime Gamers.
Oh yeah, from like
You
a
know what I'm
player's
saying?
perspective,
Right.
yeah, hell yeah.
Right.
But like from my perspective, UMG for me, to go to sponsors with is a lot more variable than primetime games.
Well, somebody just told me, and I still understand that Machinima will be streaming, primetime.
Gamer.
Yeah, Machinima will be streaming it. But I mean, I understand. I mean, you got to go where the competition is. You got to go where, you know what I mean, the best place to get your name out. And I will agree, primetime, as good as they may be, as bad as they may be, I haven't heard any bad things about them. But I guess on a business end, UMG would probably be better. But
Yeah.
I mean, if it comes down to the money, which is what competitive players are playing for at the end of the day, primetime gamers, I think, would be the way to go.
Yeah, but when you're at the level of where we're at, like us not going to UMG and going to PTG just simply for the money, it doesn't promote a good image. We're competitive gamers. We want to play. We want to compete versus the best. It just wouldn't look right if a bunch of teams show up, APEC shows up, and Nadeshot gets a team and goes there. Like the competition's there. It's really not about the money as much as you guys think it is. It's just we just want to play against top players and top teams and get recognition for that event.
Well, I've definitely seen from enough amateurs. I know it's not about the money because they'll play 16 hours on a Saturday for a pair of squid grips. So I know it's not all about the money. It's about competition. I've seen plenty of tweets.
Yeah, because he does it himself.
Exactly. Now, if you had a chance to show up to which event, which one would you choose? Obviously, UMG would be the one.
If you were more focused on the competition side of it, absolutely.
Yeah, that's what we're speaking about.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to UMG next weekend to spectate and everything. So.
You ever been before?
No, this will be the first time.
Yeah, you're gonna have a good ass time. UMG is a good event.
Yeah, it is. The Game Pazos is actually set up pretty interesting. It's a nice little place.
Yeah, the venue. Yeah, it's a nice place. Yeah, you can get food, you can game, you get a drink. You can't get much better than that at the end of the day.
Yep.
I know someone in the chat earlier. I mean, you guys have the reputation for spawning a bunch of drama in the community, and a guy posted in the chat earlier what you guys think about that. Of having that reputation of just stirring drama.
I wouldn't really say we spur drama. I just think it's like something people like to talk about. Like, if we release a player, it's a big thing. Like, I've never understood that. That's one thing I never understood. We've never really put stuff out there like that. Like, we use DeSoto to do announcements. That's it. We put an announcement out on DeSoto when a change happens. That's it.
Well, I think people get too attached to players, and like if you ever watch like an NBA player like get traded, in his mind he's thinking, I got to go do whatever I got to do at that team. You know what I mean? And their fans follow. When Vince Carter got traded, I followed Vince Carter. You know what I mean? I didn't care. I wasn't hating. It's just that people get too attached, people get too personal. Not only that, but Fear's always been like that open team, you know what I mean? That we don't keep stuff closed. We don't keep things away from the fans. Like, I've always had that mentality where it's always good to let them know what's going on, you know what I mean? Like, because I knew that when I was playing Halo, I always wanted to know what was going on between the teams, and you never got any information out of it, and it's hard to follow, But not only that, but I'm a firm believer that you should always crush any rumor that's out there, because rumors give you bad names, you know what I mean? And us being so open to the community, tweeting people what's going on instead of just waiting and stuff, like we used to do that, you know what I mean? We used to just tweet it instead of just playing it professional and just finding a source where we could just put all the information there and give a press release. So I think a lot of that whole Fear Spurs drama stuff is just sorted out because of our openness within the community.
So let's speak of openness, and maybe you can clear something up. Maybe APOC can. At the last event, EGL, yeah.
Okay.
Fear John tweeted, "This is in the plan," or whatever, to go to losers bracket, and then rumors spread around so they don't have to play Optic until the end or whatever. And then after you guys placed fourth and didn't win. Then it was tweeted, this was not in the plan, and a lot of people just said, "Oh, well," you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So yeah. I can understand, when you tweet, this is all in the plan to lose. I mean, that I can understand, trying to stay positive. I don't really, I mean, if you're praying, whatever. But, but a lot of drama did spawn from that. This is in the plan. And then people fed off of that and said, oh, well, they just didn't want to play OpTiC. They didn't want to get sent home early or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
I'm gonna crush that rumor because the one thing that was eating us alive was the fact that we didn't get to play our game. That was our game going into EGL to play OpTiC. That we wanted to, even if it was first round, we all said it. Even if it's first round, we wanted to play OpTiC. We thought that we could probably take OpTiC. We were saying like if we was in finals, it wouldn't have been a 3-0 sweep. So I wouldn't say we were scared to play OpTiC. We wanted that game. We actually wanted it. And
sure.
It feels like more home, when you play a team in America, an NA team, like it's just you've been playing against that team up until that tournament, so it's that comfortability that you get. So me as a competitive player, I can go ahead and tell you this, like you never, ever, ever want to lose and go to loser's bracket. No matter what, you don't want that. And that's never, ever in anybody's head. So even if John was referring to that when he had tweeted it at that time, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just, it's irrelevant. People should know that.
Maybe it wasn't a plan.
It definitely wasn't a team plan. I tell you that. It definitely wasn't a team plan. Whatever.
Yeah, maybe that was what was in his head. It wasn't.
Right.
It was not in Fear's head. Trust me.
Right.
They worked too damn hard for that. And not only that, but just even if like somebody with a brain can sit here and tell you and acknowledge the fact that if that were the case, like we would have went to loser's bracket anyway playing against OpTiC. You know what I mean? Why not play them, lose or win, regardless, and it would have been the same outcome. You know what I mean? Like it was stupid. It was immature. It was a stupid, immature tweet. And that's all there is to say about that.
Are you guys planning on bringing back a girls team?
Hell no.
I think we've learned from that experience.
Yeah.
I think we've definitely learned from that experience last year. So no.
I mean, I've just seen. They're trying to do an all-girl league. There's a rumor about that. There's
Really?
Right. There is a.
I don't think there's enough girls out there to have an all-girls league.
Right,
like
but it's been proposed. So
dude, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it, dude. Like, there's not even enough girls out there that take gaming seriously for the right reasons to even start a girls league.
If they got their own league, there'd be 6 girls there. What the fuck? I mean, I guess you could get Kasumi back in here. Who was I guess we can get Kasumi in here. Let's talk about.
Oh man.
Please listen. I'm new to the gaming community. Okay, I just tweet. That's all I do. But on the last few shows, we've brought up girl gamers, and Kasumi was one of them. So, bring me up to speed on that.
That's a story.
Kasumi, man. It's about that. Like, I mean, what do you do when? I mean, I've been gaming. Like, I don't even. It's hard to say because like I've been gaming with Kasumi since COD 2. You know what I mean? It was never like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was never like, hey, let me get some pics out of you. None of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it was never on that level. It was more the fact that when you're told that person doesn't have a tongue, like, you never want to like bring that up. You know what I mean? I just said, you know what? If that is a girl gamer and she's this good and she doesn't have a tongue, then whatever. But man, till this day, I mean, we had a bunch of in-house stuff with Fear when she was on it. That we did some investigations and I mean, we got our proof. But in the end, like, you really can't tell if it is a guy or a girl. Mainly because we don't have that type of proof. But I will say this: if that is a girl, right? If Kasumi is a girl, and if she looked as good as she did in those pictures, at least one point in time, we would have saw her on video as much as the whole Fear crew, including the girls and everybody when she was on the team, was Skyping. We were always constantly video chatting with each other before Dallas and all that stuff, you know? It's just like, you know, even if you don't have a tongue, even if you think that's ugly, keep your mouth shut and you're still pretty. You know what I mean? She was coming off as she was just like this pretty Asian girl. But it just seemed too, I don't know. So if it is a girl, maybe she's just self-conscious with herself. Maybe she thinks maybe she's ugly or something. I don't know. Maybe, who knows? I don't know the deal. But if that is a girl, she was by far the best girl gamer I've ever seen play any game. Like, she just went to every game and just dominated. And that's really all there is to Kasumi.
But
And, hold on. To clean up the rumor about her being a black guy, we were in a Skype call one day, because I know that's about to spur up. I know it. We were in a call one day, and you know, Assassin was saying something about his sister dating one of us. You know, just teen talk. You know, and he was just like, no offense, but I don't think my sister would date any of you guys. And then Jaylu was like, Jaylu was just out of nowhere. He's like, man, no offense, but your sister's ugly as fuck. And as soon as he had said that, we saw Kasumi's mic light up, and this is all we heard. Damn.
Yo, that's what I'm saying.
That's classical Jaylu words. That's like, you know what I mean? Like, when Jaylu would laugh, that's what he would say. But the thing is both their mics was lighting up at the time, so we can't be sure. You know what I mean? The proof isn't in the pudding yet.
So Kasumi couldn't go to Dallas?
See, that's another thing. Every time an event would arise, like, she would just come up with something.
Right.
Can we just say it right now, because we're not sure what it is?
What about that other girl? What's her name? Who was around since COD 4, and she had like 5 boyfriends.
Oh no.
The last one. Prophet, help me. Before Miss Ellie, Miss Giggles.
Miss Giggles,
right?
Yeah, but she got proved. Like, she was proven to be like a dude, right?
No, she's a chick. But for 4 years, like, she had all these fake pictures of her up, and people thought people were fucking riding her. Yeah, can we get Miss Giggles in the chat? Can we get her in the call?
Yeah, right. Good luck with that.
So, but what happened was, she's like super fat and ridiculous looking, and I'm not hating on, you know what I mean?
You kind of are hating.
But
kind of hating.
Just a little bit there.
Just a little bit, but I don't know, man. She had all kinds of boyfriends and shit, but she was around since COD 4. She had like 5,000 followers because, you know, she was supposedly a hot chick, and she wasn't, and she disappeared once her real pictures came out. But you know, that brings it back to the COD detectives. You should have got the COD detectives on old Kasumi. You know,
dude. Let me tell you something. At that time, right, the amount of evidence that Jaylu, Evan, myself, everybody was just bringing up. You know, we are the best detectives in the game at that point. You know what I mean? Like, we had a lot of like solid evidence, but the thing is it just wouldn't have held up in court. It would have just went to shit. I don't know. Because she had some compelling argument. And listen, let me just say this. As we all know,
you have an argument with somebody without a fucking tongue.
That's number one. That would have crushed us in court. Number two, number two, right? This is what killed it. Okay, this is why deep down inside I still think that's a female.
Prove it.
Ready? This is why I still think Kasumi is a female, because we all know she was a beautiful Asian chick, right? She was Japanese.
We assumed. Yeah.
Well, listen, no, we all know from the picture she was posting, but.
Okay. I can post pictures right now.
But hold on. Yeah, you can post a picture.
Model.
Yeah, you could post a picture of yourself looking like Fuzzy Otterballs, all buff and stuff. But can you speak Japanese? That's the thing. We was watching
on my phone. I could do that.
Listen. We was watching a movie.
For that.
We was watching a movie, and she was translating the movie for me and Luffy on the spot. Okay. And she was absolutely correct, because I have another Japanese friend, JoJo, and I went over it with her. The inspector. We're the investigators. I went over it with her. Like, is this what this
shit too?
Of course, dude. I had JoJo. Listen, she had even another Asian girl who talks, who shows herself, whatever, in the community. JoJo, fooled. They talked about it on Skype. You know what I mean? They talk Japanese to each other. So, if that's a dude, right? If that's a big black dude, like we like a lot of people thought it was, I give that guy a lot of credit for, number one, being smart as fuck.
Whoa.
Number two, listen. Like, I'm talking about.
Diesel's really a big fat black dude.
Yo,
all right, listen.
You just called black people stupid. I'm just saying. I'm gonna throw that out there.
No, I didn't. Listen, you didn't even let me finish. Listen to what I gotta say. Number two, the way she or he promoted himself was so professional. Like, she claimed to have went to like this college, right, and graduated. And not only that, but she just had like skills. And not only that, but she was dating like a husband that was like a nurse, I guess you could say.
Dating
And
a husband that was a nurse?
yeah, pretty much.
All right.
But the thing is like we had evidence she lived in Valhalla, California, which is where J-Lu lived. You know what I mean? And not only that, but there's another person in a yearbook that had the same last name as her. And when J-Lu had hit that person up, because he used to go to school with her, which, by the way, looks almost identical to what Kasumi was posting the pictures about. But when he hit her up, she agreed that she had a cousin that was, Vanessa Matsuhara or whatever. So if that is a big black dude and knows Japanese, I give him credit. Period.
I don't even know what to say right now.
Yeah, I mean, neither. I don't even. I think we just wasted a lot of time. I appreciate you trying to explain, but I really just wanted to throw that out there because that ties into the fear drama. You know what I mean? You got this fucking he-she running around without a fucking tongue, dominating pubs and scrims.
Hold on. Is that drama or is that entertainment? Like that was just some side stuff.
There's a fine line between drama and entertainment.
Tomato right there. That's tomato. Drama or entertainment.
Like nobody when that whole thing happened, nobody was like, "Damn, fear's full of drama." Nobody was like that. They were like, "Damn, fear looks like a fun team to be in."
Last year, Black Ops Dallas, right? Before Dallas.
Yeah.
Okay, so no one was talking about fear back then. Okay, well now it's been over a year. And fear's involved in all this drama, and nowadays people can say, "Oh, well, fear's."
Explain the drama, though. Like, I hate that word. Explain it.
Let's talk about it. Can we get some examples from the chat?
Give me some examples.
I think a lot of what Josh is talking about the whole Fizzert being dropped ordeal.
Yeah, something like that. And you know what? The Fizz drama, and I don't really pay attention because I don't really care, but I see it because I still follow some gamers. I see it all over the place. And then people come in here, we could be talking about fucking horse shit. And people are like, fucking Fizz is on this channel streaming, doing this, and they dropped him, and what the fuck is going on? Why is this being brought? I don't care. Well, apparently it is an issue, and I do care because I'm fucking talking about it. So let's talk.
I mean, the Fizzard thing was drama. I'll give you that. The Fizzard thing was drama because he made it into like drama. Like instead of actually listening to the whole side of the story and understanding, he pointed the finger straight to me. Which, what I was saying earlier, you cannot do that. That's why I made an initiative to actually hit him up and clarify it with him. You know what I mean? Like he was hurt at the time. Of course he was going to do that stuff. You know what I mean? And me and APOC, we've both agreed that it wasn't a smart decision for us to even let him go in the first place. We were thinking too far ahead of ourselves. You know what I mean? And that's what men do. We get together, we apologize, But as far as the whole situation, yeah, that was drama. There was videos posted. People were just, crucifying me on the cross without even knowing the whole side of the story and what the hell was even going on. Like, that stuff was drama. But just give me some more examples of drama. Like, we've basically been drama-free. Like, what drama? Like, you talking about Twitter stuff? Like, Twitter stuff, if it involves a player.
Somebody else said here, the drama started between Fizz and Saints, or something like that.
Huh?
They've never been on a team together.
No idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Let's go back up here. Hold on. Somebody said it. Let me check it out.
Someone else keeps freaking questioning here why you're picking up YouTubers now.
YouTubers is entertainment, The fear is beyond the team. It's bigger than a team now.
Are you planning on doing a fear sniping team? Like, I know it's a catching trend right now.
We tried
right
that.
Here. It said all of Modern Warfare 3's fear drama came from Saints and John. That's what.
But see, what kind of statement is that? What?
I'm
just but I'm just saying, like, fear is classified as a dramatic team, but it's fucking rumors. That's all you're hearing is rumors. You know what I mean? People love to talk.
It was also rumored that Kasumi was a girl. And then it was rumored he was a guy.
But let's be real. Like, even if Fear didn't even bring that up, right? People were still bringing that in there regardless. So you can't classify that as fear drama because people always said it. People always gave her shit for that. You know what I mean? For not talking and doing all other stuff and getting on video. People always gave her shit for that. We were just nice enough to give her an opportunity to showcase her skills. And we didn't. And you know what? I actually, we may laugh about it and all that stuff, but in reality, I think what we did was a good thing. Because if she is self-conscious about herself and if she didn't have a tongue, I look back on it as we gave that person an opportunity, regardless, to showcase her skills. And she did. And although we may joke about it and all that stuff, there's a time for serious.
Now, if this person would have come out and been like, "Yo, I got a dick," like, would you have continued to have it on your team?
Well, I mean, no, probably not. Mainly because if you're going to lie about tits. Mainly because if you're going to lie about it, then what else are you going to lie about in the future? Not only that, but it doesn't look good for the team, period. If something doesn't look good for your team, this is a business, see you later.
Right.
Well, I mean, you guys.
But I mean, what you gotta understand it as well. A lot of that happened last year. Last year it was still a team. It wasn't being ran the way it's being ran this year, pretty much.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there was a lot of different people in the scene last year in the Fear. This year there's not so many.
No, I know. I'm sorry. We never actually completely got to introduce exactly who you were, APOC. What exactly do you do for the Fear organization?
Basically, you can call me a manager, you can call me a coach, you can call me whatever you like. But basically, I run a lot of the business ends, marketing, organizing the team out to events, developing new revenue streams for the team, developing new things like, your YouTube side. We're planning on going into the PC market soon. All of that, that's what me and Mo work on.
You're going to see a Fear League of Legends team, dude?
Who knows, dude? I can't be giving you top secret stuff.
I thought Fear was all out in the open.
Right, you're all about the open.
Hey, but whatever we got to do to deteriorate away from being drama queens, dude. Hey,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Someone brought it up earlier that OpTiC and Envious, there's no drama there at all. You never hear anything weird about them.
Right?
Maybe that's how we should be. So I shouldn't be telling you guys this stuff. You know what I mean?
Hey, I mean, OpTiC
maybe we should just leave if that's the case. You know what I mean? Like, hey,
I'm just saying what someone posted in the chat.
I damn sure
on a serious note, we're looking at the PC market. What game yet? I don't know. We're working on that.
Right.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of where everything's heading, anyways. I mean, frickin' League of Legends has a $4 million tournament in its second season. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and they're gonna up that for season 3, which I think is absolutely ridiculous.
But okay, this isn't a League of Legends show. Let's go ahead and leave that behind. I want to get on to the Black Ops 2. I know we kind of touched about it a little bit earlier. With the new game coming out and everything, and the new spectator mode that was kind of showcased at the very end of the video with Astro commentating, do you think this provides a good opportunity that we're going to be on a major circuit this year for North America at least?
I think MLG will pick it up for sure. Especially if Treyarch supported it the way they're expected to support it. Whether or not any other leagues pick it up, like I've heard a lot of things about IPL. I've heard IPL is very interested in it for North America. Whether or not that happens, but I don't know. But MLG for sure. I think
MLG would have a major backlash if they didn't include this in their circuit. Mainly because number one, it will have land feature, which is why Modern Warfare 3 was never involved in the circuit, because it didn't. Number two, Sundance he already has tweets out there, previous tweets from months ago saying, "Oh, David Vonderhaar, how I've missed you." So obviously they've been talking behind the scenes. But if there's a game that's fully capable of being ran on LAN and it's not there on LAN, there's going to be a major backlash. Mainly because we've been wanting it for so long, and if they don't cater to us after this long and everything's perfect, there's no excuse to not have it.
Okay, well, let's talk about that. Let's look at this current season. What's on the MLG circuit this year?
You got fighting games, StarCraft, League of Legends, and that's it, right?
If we got somebody in here who could drop down numbers, would you say obviously MLG they got to be doing decent if they're still holding a full pro circuit?
Well, I
Minus
yeah.
10.
Right.
They're
Look
doing
at
breaking
better. They're
records.
doing better than they ever have.
Right.
with
They're
StarCraft
they're
and
doing
Halo.
better than they ever have. And
Are
they
you saying that they
need-
don't need Call of Duty? Is that what you're saying?
Which begs, I think what he's trying to get to, it kind of begs the question: if they're doing so well now, why bring it back?
Right.
And
Because there's no limit. Call of Duty is a huge franchise game. It has a huge. It's the biggest fan base game on console. Period.
only brought that up because Moho said if it's not on the circuit next year, there will be problems for MLG, and I will disagree with you because no Call of
No,
Duty.
no.
I
I
think
said there would
he's.
be. Hold on. I said there would be a backlash within our community. I didn't say there would be problems. MLG
maybe-
is substantial enough right now to just wipe us off the face of the
Maybe I
planet.
cut you off before I let you finish. But
Yeah,
there will be problems in the community. MLG would be fine without Call of Duty or Halo,
Of
or
course.
Halo.
Of course, nobody would disagree with that. I was just basically saying that if you have a game that's so well ran and is LAN capable, and they don't have it, especially after all the years that we've been fighting to try to get it on there, even without the without playing online and all other stuff, and create a class, it would create a backlash within our community, and I don't know, MLG would get a lot of brunt from our community for sure.
They don't care to.
Yeah, I know. Rambo decided to come in here and talk about Black Ops 2 for a little bit. What did you think of the trailer?
The trailer?
Yeah,
It looked pretty. It looked pretty boss. Obviously, there's like a lot of. I'll be skeptical, like all the other competitive players, all these like random things that kill streak wise look a bit questionable in my opinion. But I think for the most part, the game looked a lot better in general. Like graphically, it looked really good. Obviously, it's only a trailer, so I think everyone that's already putting their mindset into how the game's going to work out, as far as competitive play and stuff, is kind of crazy since you haven't actually played the game yet. And I think from experience from being here since COD 4, I think it's pretty normal to understand that trailers don't mean crap. And even if we had betas, like for COD 4 there was the beta, and for WoW there was the beta, and like
I
WoW,
missed
like
the beta, man.
yeah, and even with betas, it's like you couldn't really like give a full output of how the game was going to play when it was out. So
Yeah.
I think like there's like if we're gonna talk about the trailer in general, I think the part that got me the most excited was the perks. The
point system.
Yeah, the points. Yeah, like 10 points, and you can use like guns. I guess like a gun counts as a point. The grenades, all pretty much everything counts as a point, which is for like. I think that's going to create like a crazy amount of diversity that you haven't seen in a Call of Duty game, and the amount of class that you use. Like,
But here's the thing about that though. Like what after playing the game for however long, it's gonna kind of level out unless they could do constant updates and tweaks to fix the guns. You know, everybody's gonna find out what those best classes are, and then it's just gonna turn into what we have now.
Well, I think that's where you're wrong though. It depends on the amount of like. You haven't like I was saying, you haven't played the game yet, so you really can't we haven't seen anything like that so far. So, example, let's just take a pure example. Let's say you had a map where it was like, let's say the amount of difference that you had of running a class, like you saw that one class, the guy only had a pistol out or something, and the rest were all perks and attachments or some shit like that.
Yeah, pistol and
let's say that was an OBJ class, just for example. Like, you think everyone would use that? I don't think so. I think only a certain amount of teams that are really like confident in having one guy just running flags. If the amount of like let's say the amount of difference in speed was like in Modern Warfare 2 where you had lightweight and a marathon whatever, and like that was ridiculous. Like you ran like significantly faster with that. But let's say you had something like that, but let's say the other team like mine where we feel as we don't really have such thing as a role, and we wouldn't really be using that. We'd have more of a diversity in what we're using where everyone can kind of do everything. And obviously, like I'm not saying it's going to be completely different, but I'm just saying you're always going to have this option of using different things. Like example in Modern Warfare 3 right now, like I didn't really start using frag grenades until like really late, like whenever everyone started figuring out those nade spots. So I think at the start of the game, it's gonna be like Prophet said, like everyone's gonna kind of like figure out what's the best, and everyone's gonna start using that. But once people like, there's always different eras in a Call of Duty game where people will start using different things. I think it opens up like a lot of different options that people can start using to vary, like pretty much use the game to their utmost advantage.
Oh yeah, I mean I know like GoldenBoy was talking about that on Sunday about the point system and how different guns will be worth different amount of points. So like if you want a better gun, you'll have to sacrifice one of your favorite perks. Or
Oh really? That's
like
how it's gonna work?
I mean that's what he was saying. I mean that's all assumptions.
Yeah. I mean the way he explained it was, say you want to use the what's a good gun in Modern Warfare 3? I don't even play that.
Say a
damn game.
PP90.
A PP90. Say your PP90, it's not going to have as much damage, so it's going to cost less. You know, as compared to your ACR. Your ACR is going to cost more. So I mean, you're going to have to make.
They'll have to be really. I really like the one thing that I really hope with that is that they actually like kind of keep up with things and kind of like
Right. And
Like-
I will agree. I know what Rambo's saying already. I'm gonna fucking interrupt him because I agree with that. Well, because you look at the PP90, dude. It's a pretty OP gun, right?
It's not OP. It's just like there's,
It's
I think
pretty
The fire
nasty.
rates are
it's
high.
good. It's definitely
a
like
good
the better
gun.
SMG guns.
It's a good gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at stats in the game, look at the UMP in Modern Warfare 2. The stats said that it was trash, but that gun was fucking nasty.
Yeah.
It was pretty dirty.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think I really like that. The game I was trying to say though is like if you look at StarCraft and all these other PC games, they really like keep up with their game as far as like fine tuning things. And
Uh-huh.
let's say they were to like the point system, like you guys were saying, where like let's say a gun was worth 2 points, like if they were able to like change that while like let's say like whatever people are using, like let's say the
Like, they
ACR
completely find out.
doesn't start the most points, but in Warfare 3 and that was the best gun that everyone uses. Then at like halfway through the game,
They
they're
make
like,
it
okay,
worth
well we
more
got to
points.
change these.
I mean, yeah, that's what Golden was saying, that it'd be a lot easier for the developers to just change how many points the gun's worth than to actually like create a whole buff for it or whatever.
Yeah, true.
I wouldn't mind hearing what Joey and Curtis have to think about the whole point system and everything.
Honestly, man, I really don't know what to think about it because the game, like Rambo said earlier, the game's not out yet. You know, the only way you're really gonna know about it is if you play it. Not only that, but I haven't really been keeping too up to date with actually what the hell that's even about. Like, is that going to occur in private match as well, or you know what I mean? Like, we don't know. So
Right.
I really would rather just not say nothing about it unless APOC has something to say.
To be honest, I haven't even been looking towards Black Ops 2. You know, I've just been focusing on what we're doing in MW3 right now. When that time comes, you know, that's when we'll you know figure everything out pretty much. I guess.
Okay.
I'm focused on what's going on right now.
Okay. Now, something that I have heard, and it's strictly a rumor at this point, is that they're thinking about introducing a ranking system similar to what Halo 3 had for their system. How do you think that'll work out?
That's
I
actually
think
Bond's
that's
tweet.
yeah. Go ahead, Rambo.
That was Bond tweeted out like before, or really like close to that. Whenever I saw his tweet about the release, like tweet before that, he said something about the player under me has 4 placement matches left on Black Ops 2 multiplayer, and like if you want to go directly refer to something, you got to refer to StarCraft because that's exactly how StarCraft works. When you get in a game, you have 5 placement matches before you're like seeded into a division, and then at that point you play in your division. So I think that's what I'm hoping that's what it is because that'd be fucking awesome if we had like where everyone.
that would be awesome. It'd weed out the pub stars to the competitive players. I mean, that'd be
You
awesome.
know what's crazy is that's like a huge thing as well within the YouTube community and the competitive community.
For
Like
everyone,
they're always just basically in general, yeah. So just adding a true skill rank like that ranking system is just perfect. You know, it'll shut a lot of people up because if you're good, you're
I
gonna
don't
be
really
out
feel
there.
like it would just like bring a lot more people to realize like the actual like skill level that's needed to be at the top. Like if you look at it now, all the pub stars kind of play for like leaderboards, and that's why they kind of keep track of. But if they have this ranking system with leagues, and they're like, oh shit, I'm not in the top league, I gotta start getting better.
Yeah, I think it'll bring more viewers to the pros such as yourself and Moho and everybody else because it'll actually show these pub stars that think they're great with all their kill streaks and stuff. It'll actually show them that they're really not that great. So I mean,
there'll be a new.
It's the whole attraction of like, I mean, like you look at StarCraft players and you know you cannot defeat that guy if you just jump on the game.
Oh, no,
Like
exactly.
for sure, there'll be a new appreciation for competitive gaming for sure with that ranking system. You know, not only that, but it'll keep people happy as well because it'll keep them at bay with their skill. You know, because to be honest with you, every time I go into a pub and do work, like I just gotta hear some guy bitching and complaining.
Oh,
Like,
you get those messages like you're a
Yeah.
virgin or you never go
and
outside
I won't be,
or
exactly. I won't be getting that like on this game if they can't reach that level.
One thing I'm interested in is just because like I'm like on the business and like I'm really interested in business is the live streaming factor to it. You know, what platform are they gonna use to push those live streams out?
I've heard about this too.
Are they going to
I
use
heard.
YouTube?
I know there's a rumor out there that Twitch is coming to Xbox. So if I had anything to say, it would probably be Twitch.
Yeah, that's to be honest, that's the most thing I'm interested about. What platform
Right.
they're going to use.
I
This
don't
guy
know.
just spelled business NUSS. Somebody mute
I,
that kid.
I don't know how I don't know how well it's going to go over. I mean, it's going to oversaturate the streaming, I
Yeah.
think, and it's just I don't know.
I don't know
I'm
about
kind of
it
torn
being
about it. I think it's
accessible
going
to
to be
everyone
good.
though. I don't really see how that's possible if they were to make it accessible to like every single user. Like
Do
the
you
amount
think
of
they're going to
servers.
make it an elite only?
I mean, I would think so. I mean, like, how much bandwidth and everything you think it would require off a server to do that
Well,
if
how
every
about
single
you
player
guys
did it?
just I'm sure some people in the chat have no idea what you're talking about, so just kind of like explain what we're talking about here.
So apparently, I think Bond tweeted that as well. The ability to live stream directly from the game
Yeah.
or something like that. I think
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what the tweet said. I mean, I could be wrong. Someone correct me if I am, but maybe that's what the big talk is. Is like if every single player can actually stream from Xbox, then that's the amount of like that would kind of like not
I
take
don't-
away from it, but it
I
would
don't
make
think
it.
that's possible. I don't
Yeah, I
know
don't
how
see it
that would be
possible either.
possible, to tell you the
Yeah.
truth.
It really doesn't seem to be honest.
I mean,
like,
you just see what kind of power does the Xbox have? I mean, you see
Yeah.
all these we have to have these freaking these Uber powered computers just to have a freaking HD stream go out to Twitch. I mean, how? I
Yeah.
don't know how it would work. I mean, it's a good
I got
idea and
this.
everything.
I got this from a Call of Duty source. It says live streaming. Black Ops 2 will now have a live streaming feature built right in. You can automatically stream your gameplay over the internet easily. You would require a camera though for the feature that shows your face. This may or may not work with Kinect. So it says that Black Ops 2, it'll be available for Black Ops 2. So does that mean it's for everybody or is it just for Elite? You know what I mean?
Right. I think that's what we're trying to decipher now.
I
But
think that
But
would
if
be
it says
way
for
too
Black
much,
Ops
though,
2,
dude.
yeah, well, you never know. I don't know. Dude, the possibilities for Microsoft and Xbox 360 is just limitless, to be honest with you. And if they did pull something like this off, I wouldn't be too surprised. But as it looks right now, it looks like it's for everybody and not just elite
But I
players.
mean, just think about viewership wise. I mean, if you have instead of having like 100 people streaming and like thousands of watching, you're gonna have literally millions of people streaming and like one person watching.
Well, I think that's where that true skill rank thing comes in because people are obviously going to look at the leaderboards, and if you're playing pubs and you're high up on that true skill rank system, people are going to watch you. You know, I think it gives people something to work for, something to play for as well. I think it's a good idea, to be honest with you. It keeps people entertained. I mean, how many times a day do you play pub for 10, 15 minutes and then just get off? Like it's
Oh,
it's
dude,
really
I play
it's-
like one match and I'm done.
Can't remember the last
exactly.
time I played pubs.
which
Well,
okay,
it,
now
takes, it
I'm
takes me about a couple of hours to get off. All right, so you guys are playing for minutes. I don't know what the get down
Well,
is.
It's
You have
boring,
different
it's
like you have
annoying.
different like needs of like gaming in general. Like if you were to like play at a competitive level of the highest level and shit, like you just once you go back to playing those little dudes and pubs, it's like you're not even playing where you're really actually playing competitive play as well. It's like a lot different. Like
Well, now
I guess-
here I go comparing it to another game, to League of Legends again. What if they kind of implemented you put in the disc, you load up the game, and it gives you a featured streamer, you know?
What,
Kind of like
that
League
you
of
watch-
Legends does.
that you watch on Black Ops.
Yeah,
I
League
mean, like, and
implemented
promotion of events just right on the main page there, you know?
well, I mean, considering the amount of like looked and like the esports, the whole esports stock around Black Ops, I'm sure they're gonna like do some do something to make it more like approachable from the game itself. Like in COD 4, they had this little, what was it? They had the little corner on the bottom left that had like I remember I think it was Nationals and was it 08 or 09? I forgot which one it was, but there was actually this little box that said go to this site to watch, go to MLGpro.com or something to watch the COD 4 Nationals, whatever, next weekend. Like they had this little info box.
Yeah, I remember that. I think that was 09. But
Yeah.
promotional events are, I mean, you can almost count those 100%. And, you know, just Vonderhaar's tweets in general will go ahead and tell you that's going to be there. You know,
Right.
One thing with Call of Duty is we've never had full developer support. Last year was kind of like a test run. You know, they were still going through stuff, but this year they're prepared. And I think that's why Sundance tweeted him. Oh Vonderhaar, I really missed you. And it's just big things are going to be coming for Call of Duty, especially on the promotional side, because Vonderhaar, he's in love with competitive gaming. You know, he's
Right.
a big fan of OpTiC. I think he's even a part of OpTiC.
Right.
He
I
always
think,
tweets out OpTic Von, man.
yeah,
What's
you know,
going
I
on,
think
man?
he's a part of OpTic, and you know,
Yeah.
just I don't to be. He could be a part of Fear, whatever. It doesn't really matter, bro. Like as long as he's involved, you're gonna see a lot of promotional
Pretty sure he was watching
events.
EGL too.
Yeah,
I
he
think
was.
yeah, I think where we failed in showing up for the events, we definitely succeeded in showing up for the developers and showing them how serious we are about our game.
Yeah,
I think a lot of success from gaming comes from how much the developers support the game. So
Oh,
if we can get if we can get even 80%, I'm gonna say even 50% support from Treyarch, which I think we will get from Vaughn and everything. He seems pretty enthusiastic about it. I think Black Ops 2 could go pretty far. It could grow the community exponentially.
yeah, I think the devs are like 100% of their like they have complete control of how a game does competitively, in my opinion. Like
Yeah.
if you look at StarCraft and you look at League of Legends, like the amount of like their League of Legends, first of all, is purely made for competitive play. There's absolutely nothing of League of Legends that isn't made for competitive. Like literally all they do is about their pros. Like if you look at StarCraft, like all the buffs and like the different things they alter about the game, the group of players are pro players. The players that decide and have a say in how those things work are actual pro players. They send emails and they're like, oh, this sucks, this is annoying. So that one dude, I forgot what's his name, Chinese dude that's like the head of something about multiply. I don't know what's his name, Chang. I don't know, could be wrong, but
Hang out. That's racist.
no. I think it's his
It
actual name is like
probably
David
is,
Chang. I could be
like-
wrong though, but he's a dude that like actual like he asks all the pros and all the changes they make are depending on them. So like it's like you look at those games and you look at us in the past Call of Duty games. There's literally like there's nothing we could do. Like everyone talks about. I see Poise and all these people like talking about how our rules are one of the reasons why we're not big. Well, shit, are we the ones that fucking want to make our rules that way? I mean, we're not. We can only do so much to affect the game to make it like more pleasable for a public match player and actual playable for us. I mean, I think that's going to be a really big factor in my opinion. Like the game devs and such.
Yeah, I think MLG definitely needs to give us, you know, the freedom to choose the rules for what we play. You know, I remember back in COD 4, we had to fucking get on our knees just to get backlot out of the freaking rotation. You know what I mean? Like I just think that I love how EGL presents themselves. I love how the Circle just takes over as far as the rules. The community is really in charge, and I think that you know if everybody's to be happy, then we need to be able to just come together and put like a voting system in.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. But I know at the beginning of Modern Warfare 3, didn't you say you were working closely with the Kill KC to try and start up some rules for Modern Warfare 3? GoldenBoy?
In the
I think
call, but he's
there
not in
was
the
talk at
call.
the very start that they
Yeah.
were trying different things out, and
You guys hear me?
Oh, there we go.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Let me just switch it up real quick. Hello.
Hi there.
Hold on a second. Let me just get this right. How
you sexy bastards do today? I just want to tell you, Rambo, you are a genius, and congratulations on EGL, by the way,
Thank
buddy.
you.
Out there. And Moho, you still owe me sex favors. So, talking. Yeah, I was actually working with Casey at the beginning of Modern Warfare 3 to make some settings. He was trying all sorts of different things. I mean, it was like we were doing kill streak playlists. We were doing playlists that had certain kill streaks. I mean, I had tested some of them out, and pretty much everyone said they hated it. So that was that, and that ended that run.
Well, have you been talking with Killer KC at all? I mean, Black Ops 2 trailer just came out for multiplayer and all that shit. Have you guys actually contacted each other to talk about maybe starting?
I mean, whenever I'm there, I talk to him. Whenever I'm there, because you know, like me and Casey go back, so whenever I'm there, like I chat with him about it, tell him about some of the features. Like he didn't even know that Modern Warfare 3 had LAN. You know, like that they just don't keep up with those things as much as possible. As much as, you know, there's no reason for them. It's not on the circuit, so it's not like it really matters much.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, for the most part, they're pretty, like, you know, I can only imagine that they have been working closely to some degree. Obviously, Hastro's there, and I know that he has a big involvement with them. And you always got to expect good things from that guy. You know, he truly is one of those dudes who cares about the community and cares about the game and making it, you know, as big as possible. And I truly think that Black Ops 2 is going to be the game that we all want. That's just me being optimistic, GoldenBoy as always. But, you know.
It's good
Golden,
to be optimistic.
you're like involved with like that whole MLG, team basically. You live there with them and you go to their office a lot. Why is it that you think that they don't give us like freedom to like, or not just the whole community, but just like a like a like a
Like a
like a
council?
team, like a council, yeah, like a council. Why don't they give it like a council of like all the top players, all the pro players who've been here since day one? Like, why don't they let us choose the rules, and then at the end of the day, once we figure something out, promote it to them or give it to them so they can look over it.
Before we keep talking about this, we had the MLG, all the
I think we lost Rambo.
we're spoken about on there.
Oh,
I was kind of disappointed.
Start that thought over again, Rainbow. You cut out.
I said, oh, my bad. I said before we talk about more of that, last year we had the pro players had a pro player council on the forums, on the MLG forums.
Yeah.
We were able to voice our opinions on certain things about, and actually a big movement was started, before, I think, for Orlando, of trying to get the FeaRMoho ban, and was it Steady Aim as well? I think it was.
Yeah,
we were trying to make it.
Yeah.
We were trying to make the gun rules closer to what Deserto was. Not completely Deserto, since we wanted to keep guns, but I think the voting was like 80% yes, and nothing was done to change it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, I can actually talk about that, by the way, if you don't mind. Like,
Go ahead.
I had asked, because, you know me, Rambo, like, I was actually very vocal about that as well. Like, because that was one of the things that people wanted to see was like, the casual viewer wants to see is some kind of variety. And I had brought that up to KC, and at that point, he said it was already too late to do something about it because the national championships was right there. Granted, all the players had agreed on it, but they just felt like it wouldn't have been as detrimental to everything as like it was being put out there at the time, just because of the fact that it was so close to the national championships. Because I remember that you guys had voted on it, and then when the rules came out, you guys were everyone was on Twitter and they were like, "Wow, it was like 80 to like 20, and we still didn't get listened to." And then when I asked KC in Providence what was the reason, he said it was just so close to the event, they just really couldn't make such a huge change like that that hadn't been done all season.
Well,
no,
I
because
remember
it was Providence too or something like that.
I got a question around the rules. Do you think we should adhere more to Deserto rules so that we could maybe make Call of Duty more of an international competitive scene than just...
I honestly don't think we need to adopt the Deserto rules. I just think that we need to be able to have, people make these decisions that actually play the game and know what's best. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the FeaRMoho, huh?
Right now, the rules are exactly the same except for Cinemags, which has no place in Call of Duty DPS.
I think, like, referring back to Black Ops, though, like, this obviously
right.
3 doesn't really matter, but just Black Ops 2 in general, man, I think they, like GoldenBoy said, we definitely need a council. I mean, we're the ones playing it, nonstop all day playing and just, going to events and competing. They're not, like, why are they the ones that say, hey, this is what takes skill and this doesn't? It would be, yeah, of course.
If I may for a second, it's similar to two situations, right? In Halo, you had the Gold Pro movement, which was prior to them announcing No Bloom for Reach, and that was actually another really, really big thing that MLG didn't do that last season, which was make the national championships No Bloom, because once again they felt it was going to be a real major change. So that's why like the next event was No Bloom and all that stuff, and then there was the Gold Pro settings, and I would say that's like the basis. But then again, those guys know what they're talking about when it comes to Halo. But another example is the Hypestation rule set, right? So like in Gears of War, the community got together, and then they were like, it was guys like CDN, Cream, Barbosa, all these dudes that were heavily involved in the creation of the big Hypestation events and all that, and they had come up with the rules. Then what they ended up doing, what Game Battles ended up doing, was taking those same rules and putting it into the Game Battles. They even made a tournament and a ladder called the Hypestation Rule Ladder or something like that. Like they had it was there. Like if the community does it and if enough people support it and say, all right, well, we're not playing your rules, we're playing the rules that the community made, then I think that would be more effective than us saying, yeah, let's do it, let's wave the flag of of making a council, but then we actually do it. Like we communicate with our friends over in the EU, guys like Rambo and all the dudes from like OpTiC and even yourself, Joey, and APOC, like you guys have that ability to do that and really get involved with them. I think that'd be a great idea moving forward, and just do it and say, this is what we're playing, this is the rule set, and everyone else
you gotta occupy Call of Duty.
But the problem is though, and I just want to say
Gotta
this
be
again,
proactive.
is that the EU, as much as I love those guys because they're so awesome, they are very, very quick to ban things. I mean, as soon as like right now, like the M16, I was on the Deserto forums recently. Like I think the day, yeah, actually it was this morning, and I was reading, and there was like at least 5 threads saying ban the M16. It's like, whoa! I mean, the game's pretty much dead. Why ban the M16 at this point? You know, like that's kind of pointless. And even then, you know, it's not, you know, you missed that first shot. I mean, it
I'm
is what it is.
honestly-
But.
You gotta understand, like, for North America, the game might be dead. EU is thriving. You know, you got I-46, you got EGL.
That's true.
And-
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, they want the game to be as balanced as possible for these LAN events. So
But is the M16 really bad? I mean, I've played against
I'm
it.
not
I
sure.
have.
I don't know.
I haven't even had an issue with it. Like,
I used it a bit, and it's like it's to the point where it's a bit where the Type 95 was a bit inconsistent, but you do get those fucking one burst shots that couldn't kill anyone.
so is it
Damn,
like the
Fizzard just tweeted looking for Microsoft points. I can't
it-
believe it.
Is it like the COD 4 M16? Because that was a little inconsistent
Yeah.
at times
It's
too.
pretty much-
like-
But it's like
So-
different in COD. COD 4, you had Juggernaut, if you really
That's
wanted
true.
to like. not
But
that
do you
much
think
shot.
it? Do you think it should like get banned? Because you're gonna be going over there again as well, right?
I honestly don't feel like it's something. I mean, I wouldn't. If I were to like, if I was an AR player, I'd probably use the ACR over it still. So I don't really feel like it should get
Yeah.
banned. I think it's really
I've
something
been-
people need to check. Like, I think something that the EU does is, whenever they were really fast to ban the Type 95, it's because like literally every AR player uses it because they're just so good. So I think that's why they're like, I don't think they're gonna ban it that fast this time because I really doubt that people are gonna use it, over the ACR, to be honest.
Yeah, I just think people are overhyping it, to be honest. Because I've played against it, and it's just I've played against.
It's
multiple people
inconsistent.
that use it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
it is.
You'll
using it
have
right
these
now.
one burst shots, and then you'll have these really like gay ass 3 bursts.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm using it right now as we talk, and I'm like shooting, and I'll get 1 burst, but then I'll get like 3 bursts. It's just how it is.
It's inconsistent. Really what
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
inconsistent
Yeah.
weapon.
What do you guys think about the update with the UMP? You think that's going to be usable on LAN?
I haven't even used it yet.
Oh,
to be
dude,
honest.
I was after that update came out, I started playing some pickups. Dude, a lot of people are using the UMP now.
Yeah, I think like I was like an avid fan of the UMP, but I think what you use on LAN with it is probably going to be different than what you use online. Because online you'd obviously use focus, but like LAN, I heard that a lot of people are using like range on their guns and stuff. Like the PP90, they use a lot of range and stuff. Like what's your take on that, Rambo? You think like the UMP, like knowingly that it's really slow shooting? Do you think it'll?
For a bit, kind of missed what you were saying.
I was saying, what do you think about like the UMP getting used on LAN because you're going to be competing over there? Do you think it's like
What changed about it though? That's what I was.
well,
asking.
they upped the damage on it.
The
I
damage.
think
is
they
it-
buffed it a little bit.
I don't know. I haven't really used it, so I can't really give a take on it. To be honest, I think that's probably one. If they actually buff it like you guys say they did, it's a possibility. To be honest, like the one thing that actually that was the first time I actually started using. I was using range instead of focus on LAN. This was before the winners bracket finals. We were playing. We were warming up against 4 Kings, whatever, and they were all using that shit. They were using like PP90 range, and it was ridiculous. Like,
Range.
like yeah, it pretty much
That
gives
shit
you
was
that.
overpowered on LAN.
Oh
dude.
god, dude, you don't even know. It's stupid. Like,
Except
we were all
Dome.
using
Except
focus range.
Dome. Yeah.
We were getting destroyed and fucking the FFA. I was getting scared. I was like, damn, these dudes are fucking good. And then I fucking get killed. I'm like, why is he using range on a TV90? So I left the game, came back, started using range. I was like, oh god, dude, stupid.
We
It's
didn't
like,
figure that
it gives
out
you-
until we lost. Like,
if anyone was watching my stream before, I was actually using MP7 because the only event that I actually played on real land this year was the UGC one, because they like have those whatever J tags, so they like we were actually playing on like System Link and not like through the internet. And
That's right. That was before the update, wasn't it?
yeah, and the MP7 was like god, like the MP7 is like so good on actual land, but that range perk really gives like that PP90 that little mid range thing that you don't really get with focus online, and it just made it fucking ridiculous to where like you have that fire rate that makes it like good really close range, and you have that mid range with the range perk, and like if everyone's using range, then there's like focus is kind of like pointless almost. So it was pretty crazy actually. I was actually intrigued. So I don't know. The MP7 the UMP is still has that slow fire rate, so if the PP90 is still like really good, I don't really see the UMP being used that much, you know.
Do you plan on going to UMG next weekend at all?
No, we have other obligations, sadly.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Are you at liberty to say which event you will be attending next?
We are hoping. I'm not gonna say we are because we don't have our flights yet, and I've been pretty since the whole APEC ordeal. I have been pretty safe with announcing what events we're going to until we have actually all the traveling arrangements done for. But the deal was when we came back with OpTiC was EGL 7 and 8 and DreamHack, which is the DreamHack in Spain, I believe, Valencia. So those would be the events that we are planning on attending. Hopefully, if everything goes right.
What about Fear? What does Fear plan to attend after UMG next weekend?
EGO 8, 100%. DreamHack. I haven't even looked into it yet. Yeah, that's something that came up a couple of weeks ago. So if we go to it, we'll announce it. If we're not, then we're not.
Right. Okay. Is there anything else we want to talk about for Black Ops 2?
GoldenBoy will be staying in the Bronx. By the way, I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, for next weekend. Yeah.
For next weekend, I will be in the Bronx, where I will stay.
Black Ops 2. There was one thing that we didn't really talk about, and that got me a bit scared. Was in there was two things actually. How fucking fast people died, and a knife. Yes.
Yeah,
what was the first one? What was the first one?
How fast people died.
Yeah, I did notice that in the scope where he was using the sonar. I mean, in this part where he was using the sonar scope.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Okay, I just want to say, by the way, I did the greatest breakdown video of all time. Boom. 2. I'm just fucking around. But in all seriousness, though, that sonar scope is a good and a bad thing, to be honest with you. I see the idea behind it. I get it because it reminds me of enhanced vision from Shadowrun.
Tell me how it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because it prevents campers. It stops campers, and you have to actively look through the scope.
How does it stop campers when you can just sit behind a wall at a corner and look through it with an actual scope?
Not everybody's gonna be using the damn thing.
It goes both ways. You can see people camping, but you can camp yourself.
But here's the thing. What if you know how you run SMGs and ARs at this point? What if there's that one dedicated person on your team running that?
Well, hold on. Let's be fair here. Like,
wall hack.
That's too much. You know damn well they're gonna have a perk that's gonna allow you to not be visible for that.
True, but then again, that's the thing. That's the big problem though in Call of Duty is like the fact that you're trying to use a perk to counteract the perk. Then it's just kind of like you're losing like 2 perks in the game for absolutely nothing.
Yeah, but let's put it this way.
You're using things that you shouldn't be using just to
But that brings up the whole point system again. You know, are you going to be willing to put the points into having that attachment on your gun?
Oh, I mean, tell me one team that's not going to use that.
Right? Because this is never going to be used in competitive play. That's for sure.
Oh, look,
yeah,
you have everything that I've been looking at so far.
That thermal red dot was sick.
You have to understand that everything that all this talk has been talking is like, if you look at every let's say top pioneer in this community has been talking about is how this game has to look more like public matches. So you have to count in everything you see in those videos has a chance and has a good chance of being used in competitive play because that's what they're trying to do is bring as close as possible to public play. It's really what it is at this point.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I could see the only thing that would transfer to competitive play would be that scope you're talking about on the sniper rifle, just to try and get more snipers into the scene because sniping is way too popular in Call of Duty and it annoys the hell out of me.
Sniping in competitive scene is kind of like a disadvantage. So if they wanted to do something with a scope and I wouldn't really mind, to be honest with you. Well, I don't want to say that because what if the game comes out and it's just so overpowered? But if you're using
the iron sight or whatever sniping, that look pretty tight. I'm sure some people actually use that SD or something.
Days, bro. That should look hot.
You just
it look like some Call of Duty 2 status.
Yeah.
Those are skillful to use if you're fast enough. Sorry.
What I'm saying was that thing, by the way, just iron sight with that sniper or with the bolt action, that can be used in competitive. I could definitely see that being used because old school COD 2 players definitely would benefit from that. Because that's just that's them right there. Car 98K, boom, that's it.
Well, even in World at War, you could do that too. That was one of the things I liked about WoW. One of the only things that you could iron sight the scopes.
But I have a blast. I know it's not Call of Duty, but I have a blast on Battlefield playing with just the iron scope and a red dot on it. It's really fun, But I want to talk about the whole burst fire thing. What are your guys'
Which-
opinions on that? Like,
I
I
think
like,
that's
I
great.
think that's,
The
I think
gun
that's cool
switching
too.
thing? Optic
Oh,
switch? Is that
well,
what you're talking about?
not gun switch, but the burst fire, like
The burst fire, like you'll have like an M16 that can be fully auto burst fire or single shot.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That you can like switch the
Yeah.
gun, like the way to gun. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
pretty
I
cool,
mean, I
actually.
think that's awesome, dude. Like, I mean, just
yeah.
while you're playing, I mean, you know, there's
Definitely
certain
gonna make
spots,
guns more versatile.
yeah,
that's for
more
sure.
versatile and a lot more accurate. I mean, there's spots on the map where you might want your ACR to be fully automatic, but then again, you might want a single shot to get that head wall guy that's across the map or whatever.
Bear in mind that was an attachment too, so
Oh, it
that's
was.
another. It was an
Oh,
attachment.
was it?
If you, yeah, if you look in the video, all the weapons to the side, to the right of it, had the attachment. So like there was it was a name, and then it said the attachment, and on the thing it said rate of fire or something like that. I got to look back at the video, but it is an attachment. So it's not something exclusive to guns in the game. You know what I mean?
so
and
you
that's
actually have to equip it on there.
exactly, everything's a sacrifice, and that's the one thing that I like, man. Like everything in the game is something for you to, there's a benefit to everything that you do, and there's a penalty. And
Well, this
that's the
might-
cool part about it.
This might be like the first game for Call of Duty where every player will have his own unique class.
Yeah,
And that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
That's what we were saying at the start. Like the amount of versatility that you can have in a class from a player to another is going to like if you get look at all those dudes that like ask us like us pro players to make videos about our classes. Like
Oh my god.
my
Yeah.
class video will not be any different than Mo's class video or any other player
Yeah.
who uses SMGs that
Exactly.
much. Like except for maybe the frag grenades and surge and the stuns and all that stuff, smoke maybe. But like if you look in Black Ops 2 now, like the amount of possibilities is like crazy. So I think that's really going to be an interesting fact. And I think that another big talk is the fact that there didn't really seem to be a tier of classes where like it wasn't like perk slot 1, perk slot 2, perk slot 3. You kind of just had like all the perks and like you
Yeah.
could use whatever.
They're
I
just
think
all
that's really
jumbled
that's
together.
a huge factor because
Yeah.
like example dead silence in one slot, then that pretty much takes out all the other perks in that slot. Like
Yeah.
you can't use them. So I think it's like another really like strong point that I think they thought out really well.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be something that really changes the game, because the whole thing about that entire system is that, if you really look at it, it really allows Treyarch to balance things out, allows that without having to nerf or a weapon. It allows them the ability to kind of, like we were talking about before, create versatility in classes and really make something unique. Like what I may use will be completely different from what someone like Rambo would use. And then that's when those videos of like, what class do you use? That's when that shit will be useful. Because it's your style.
I'm sure Rambo's gonna have the class just with a knife. I could see
There
him
you
having that.
There you go. I don't know why if they're really gonna make me pull my knife out when I have to play that game, I'm not gonna do it.
I think it's only when you don't have a weapon equipped. I think that would be the only time that they treat it like a second weapon. That would be the only thing I would say, to be honest
like
with you.
how are you supposed to like I don't really see like how they're gonna like do the whole switching guns if you really have to pull a knife out. That just like if you're really gonna have to Y out to your knife, like who the fuck's gonna use it?
Panic
Like, oh,
knife's
I
gonna be
got to switch from my gun to my pistol to my knife now.
I don't know, man.
Oh.
I mean, that takes out knifing. I mean, I know there's plenty
Yeah.
of times where
Panic
I've come around
knifing.
the corner, dude, and I've been.
Whoa!
panic knifed out
No,
the
I did
ass.
not hear that. Let's not start on that.
Oh
Let's
yeah.
not talk about that tonight.
Yeah, do we want to talk about panic knifing?
No.
Yes, panic knifing.
Okay, we want to talk. All right. Do you shoot people when you see them?
Usually.
I'll cut their
I'm talking to
asses.
you- I'm talking to you, Alex. Do you shoot
I'm
people
gonna
when you
cut
see
their
them?
bitch ass.
Alex,
I'm
when you see
Hispanic,
someone,
bro.
do you shoot your
Come
gun?
on.
Are you panic shooting now? Is that what we're gonna call it?
No, I don't.
When I see
don't
someone
call it
next to
that.
me, I knife.
Listen,
Yo,
I
you
don't
know,
call
you
it
know,
that.
you know why I call it panic knifing, because a lot of people use the default like button settings. So naturally, like when you come around the corner and you see that guy, you kind of tense up and maybe jump a little, so you accidentally hit the toggle
okay.
stick.
So if someone's using tactical, then it's panic drop shotting. Is that what it is?
No, if you-
Yeah.
Is that what we're
yeah,
calling it?
I
don't
I
know,
could
dude.
go
I'm
with
just-
that.
I'm
That's
just
fine
saying.
with me. Panic drop shotting, why
I'm
not?
just saying everything you do is a reaction to something.
Honestly,
As much
I
as
would
you wanna
say
call it your body
with the
jerking.
tactical, I more like panic like crouch shoot than I would.
Oh, there you
drop
go.
shoot.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
the same thing with anything, though. Like
Panic
even you're
crouching.
even shooting when you react really fast to the guy in front of you, you're gonna shoot. It's a reaction. That's
Yeah.
how a body reacts to things. I don't.
It's just
I
something
completely
that has.
disagree.
It's just something that has become like frowned upon, I would say, which to me is preposterous, because I mean, you're just knifing a dude. Like, listen, You're just if the dude gets in your face, you're gonna cut him. I'm sorry, but that's just the truth. Like, there's no way that I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot my gun the entire time. No, I'm gonna cut his bitch ass. One, because I'm his.
Wow, it's hostile.
You know, I am, dude. I'm a very hostile guy, believe it or not. But no, but truth be told, though, I mean, I don't really see the big complaint about it. You know, but if you do have to switch your knife, that would be very interesting, almost Counter-Strike-ish, if I must say so, because that definitely does change a lot of things.
Yeah, along the same
Well,
lines of
along,
Shadowrun.
along with Counter-Strike, I heard somewhere, I think you might have brought this up, Golden, that you might have to load your class out before you start the round.
That was something I heard, but I didn't hear that from a reliable
that's
source.
very Counter-Strikey to have to
What are we
load your
talking about?
class out. Like you'll have to load your class out before the round starts. So like you know, if you've ever played Counter-Strike, you have money.
No, I
and
know you gotta buy shit.
Yeah, you gotta buy your
I don't
guns
really see
before
that
the
being
round
possible in
starts.
Call of Duty, though, especially if you have all these different options. Like, it doesn't really take you like 5 seconds to like just press a million buttons and buy whatever
Yeah.
you have to buy.
Like, guys, I don't know what I'm gonna buy. Oh my
Yeah.
god!
And then you're screwed because then you don't have nothing.
You're panicking and everything. You're like, no.
Then you're
I mean,
panic
Counter-Strike-
buying.
You're going like 1-6, 2-5, 3 something, and like 6-2 to buy like your Kevlar. That's what you're doing in Counter Strike. Like you're just pressing like 6 or 8 buttons, and you're not really like moving an analog left to the right, putting a red dot, making sure it's green dot, and fucking making sure you got like your panic. I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
Your panic knife perk.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that, but
Panic knife.
I'm just saying you got like a bunch of stuff to like put on. Like I don't really see that being possible in like, Call of Duty.
You
I
know,
mean, I
Well,
would
why
like,
don't
yeah,
we got GoldenBoy in here. GoldenBoy, what are your plans for Black Ops 2?
ooh, really? You're asking me that? That's cool.
Let's talk about.
Yeah, because I mean, no one really ever asks an am, and that's what I am. So, I dropped my Sensei mouse. Team Red Baron. Let me see here.
Wow.
Deal series. Shameless drop.
Series,
Yo,
Team Red Baron.
GoldenBoy, hey, what'd you think of that picture that I turned into a meme the other day?
Yo,
that Red
dude,
Baron
I
guy.
can't believe that Nate Shot got that image. That someone
Yeah.
legitimately took that picture of him holding a gun and Modern Warfare 3. That was insane. Anyway, so I plan on playing. I do not plan on casting for Black
Really?
Ops 2 until that's actually the first time I've even saying it like truly like out there. But yeah, I plan on playing.
Exclusive.
You know, I mean, really, if you look at it,
Weekly Rant
You
exclusive
want
coming
some of
to
this,
you
little
guys.
boy? You want some of that panic knife, bro?
listen here, son.
Okay.
All right, here's the thing. I'm a vet.
Rambo's equipped with the panic knife perk.
Yeah, no, he has the panic knife perk with his panic knife attachment
There you
with the
go.
red dot.
Red
But yeah, like I decided to play because, you know, to be completely honest with you, I think that like when you got guys like Paradox and Turbo out there that are busting their butt, I think those guys are definitely really passionate about casting. I am passionate about casting as well. Don't get me wrong, I love it to death. But I love COD and I love competing in COD, so I'm gonna put that as my focus right now. And if there are any other events out there that people want me to cast, I'll do it with no problem. Like the way I did the War of the Roses thing or the Max Payne and stuff like that.
So you'll be
But as
in
far as-
control of Call of Duty. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, who knows? Maybe, but I, never win. And just, I'm kidding.
What if MLG? What if MLG asked you to commentate?
Well, for right now, my stance is that I'm gonna decline, and
Really?
I will play at least 3 events this year. If MLG picks up the game, God willing, I will play 3 events this year, guaranteed. And yeah, because I'm serious about it, man. Like, in Black Ops, I had the worst run. I had the worst luck ever in Black Ops. I won't get into too much detail, but a lot of people who know me knows the story. I have bad luck, so I'm hoping to just turn that luck around. And everyone out there that competes always wants that one dream to be able to play on main stage. A guy like me who has held a microphone on main stage, yeah, that's cool, but I want to play on main stage. So, and plus, you got guys like Fwiz and Astro coming back as well. There's no place for me in casting, so I'm gonna just take a step back, play, enjoy it, and then if the community wants me to come back and cast, then I'll come back and cast.
I'm
That's
sorry.
what I'm gonna
I gotta say that I rather enjoy your casting, and I think it's going to be kind of upsetting to a lot of people to know that you're not going to be coming back to cast.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, we'll see what happens. Obviously, I have to talk to my agent, EMG, and consult with them on a lot of things. I don't know
Let
if you
the
guys.
man play. I want to knife him.
Yeah, no.
Ah, listen,
I want to padding knife Rambo. So this way I can get up and say, "You like that padding knife? You like it, son?"
I'm getting a technical on you.
You got to drop vulgarities though, because they were talking earlier about who was it in the
It was
beginning of the
APOC.
show? Right, in the
APOC.
beginning of the show, they were like, "It's all about shit talking." So when you knife him, Golden Boy, you have to call him a bitch or something. I mean, you got to get vulgar.
Even if I get attacked,
Yeah, dude. I mean,
Right.
even
Right.
I mean, they would give us texts at the MLG events for saying like ass or shit, dude. I mean, I remember I told the ref to get a stick out of his ass one time, and he gave me a technical. So
Nice.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
he
Golden
gave,
Boy,
I remember he
you're
gave
right.
he gave Sharp or Fatalize a fucking technical, and I was like, get the fucking stick out of your ass, dude. Come on,
But
man.
Golden Boy, when
Come
you
to
do
Europe.
come back, Golden Boy, who are you gonna team with?
Oh, good question.
What are your prospects?
I don't know. Right now, I know that I definitely want to run with Neslo, the guy who I picked up for the local battles program. By far, one of the more talented players I've ever played with, and a very, very intelligent individual when it comes to this game. So,
And one of the only people that talks as much as you do.
yeah, I know.
He talks more than Golden does, dude. That dude, and he's louder. Yeah, and he's louder.
Yeah, he's a good guy, you know, really, he's a good guy and very, very intelligent. So, you know, probably going to team up with him, you know, try and see if I can get working back into it again. If not, then, you know, I'm just going to be out there looking and probably even joining like an organization or something like that. Because I don't really want to start up a team. I more or less want to do something like I would join an organization and represent them. I think I do a good job at that, you know. I want to walk around and be like, well, you know, join Complexity, as we are going to be going to the MLG matchups.
You're whoring out your voice. You know that, right?
That's what I'm doing. I'm just going to whore out my voice.
All right.
Simple as that.
Yo, next time you talk to Neslo, Golden Boy, he did post a response video to the dick pictures and the nudity, and I think we talked about that on part of our first shows. He took the video down, and we wanted it back. We wanted to see, you know what I mean? It's like he wasn't really living by what he was believing in. He was so passionate about this video, and he deleted it. So he has been on the show a few times. I think he's a good kid. I think he's a solid player. I've actually dealt with him a lot.
Yeah, especially in
the
community rant. That was good.
Yeah, I think he's a solid kid. That's a pretty solid pickup.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it for me. I mean, as far as like what I'm gonna do, and you know, for like the 10 people that care, and that's pretty much it. So I'm pumped about it.
You are so modest, it's ridiculous.
Because I don't want to act like I'm important.
You are
know what I mean?
uber
Like,
modest. Like honestly, for the 10, you're like you have your face in your hands for the 10 people that care.
I don't want to sound like a douchebag. It's like, yeah, you know, Golden Boy's coming back. Like, what am I gonna do? Seriously, like I'm gonna fucking go and scream at the top of a mountain. I'm just gonna be like, I'm coming back, baby. You know, like,
hey man, make an entrance.
Hey, for those who don't know, Dwight Howard is officially on the Lakers.
Oh, whatever.
Is he really?
Knicks all the way, son. That's all you need to know. New York.
I don't know if Dwight Howard's on the Lakers.
Yeah,
Whatever. That's crazy.
They got a
That is crazy.
Well, now we know never to bet against APOC in NBA.
Nah, but go, like
Now he
bring,
can score with somebody other than Kobe.
Hold on, APOC wants to bring up a Call of Duty matter, so let's
I just want to bring up the whole shit talking banter of EGL. Rambo, you was there. Would you?
Oh, was I?
Would you not? You know, I just saw a Canadian on stage winning the event. You know,
That might have been me.
There was one.
but
Nah, it was his clone.
do you not think like MLG allowing that? Like, you remember Saturday night? You saw the crowd around that game, right? We won't repeat what was said. We won't repeat what was said, but
We can.
you saw the crowd.
Repeat it. Repeat what was said. I
Thank
wanna
you,
hear it.
Rambo. That was entertaining. That was so entertaining, right?
So
Let's
much
explain
fun.
why this was
Yeah,
so
what was
Okay,
said?
okay. Three shit talks. Okay, someone called Killa a 30-year-old or some shit. I don't know what he said.
Let
It
me
was
repeat that. Let me repeat
told
that.
Fisherman stop making YouTube videos, and then I don't know. The guy was bigger than Ricky, but he still called him fat. And
Someone said to Killer, "Go home, you 30-year-old bald-headed bitch." When he said that, the whole crowd started.
What was the
dying.
first word? What was the first word?
It was like, "Go home, 30-year-old bald-headed piece of
30-year-old.
shit." Yeah.
Damn. That's
But I'm saying like
so harsh, dude. It's funny as hell,
the banter and shit talk going back and forth is what created that crowd.
I
Yeah,
mean,
man, you can't say
no,
shit.
it was
at
more
MLB.
like it was more fear like starting to
MLG
lose.
is
Like
like
if we
a
would have started
goddamn
losing, everyone would have started watching our game. It's really what it was. Like everyone wanted to see a North American team lose. And I think like I did like you're trying to refer it to MLG. I really don't see that being possible for MLG because like everyone's been saying, EGL is more a community event, whereas MLG is more like a professional event. Like EGL doesn't really have sponsors; they have to withhold as far as the like showing like people that like representing a product per se. And like that's a huge like you wouldn't be able to see like if you saw a shit dog in MLG like that, like let's say there was a sponsor there, like they would see that, like you think they would like that? I highly doubt it, to be honest. So,
But do you think like if they loosened up the rules just a little bit?
I mean, yeah, to the extent where like I feel like MLG maybe I agree with you is a bit too strict on this stuff. Like, I said, what was it? I think I got a technical for the first event. I went like Columbus last year. We were playing, I think, OpTiC Nation. I killed Proofy. I got like a crazy kill on Proofy or something. I said, Proofy, you fucking suck, and I got a technical for it. But like those moments, kind of like maybe they should be a bit looser. But like there's things like there's no way to make it like EGL. Dude, EGL you can literally talk about it. Like you could say the N word if you really want to, and they wouldn't like stop you. Which is kind of like there's a lot of things there that I don't really feel like have your place. Like that one dude that was like talking shit to you guys like crazy. Like he was bringing it a bit too far at times. But like in general, it is somewhat entertaining. I can't even lie. Like I was laughing my ass off watching that game. I can't even lie.
Me personally, like that was the best event I've been to for Call of Duty, EGL 7.
Oh yeah, not even before that was even better in my opinion. Like there's so many more teams in general, and it was.
I never went to EGL 5, but
do you think that all that shit talk or banter or whatever you call it, do you think that that could be a reason why EGL doesn't have like a main sponsor? You know what I mean? Like, do you think that's holding them back?
I mean, I wouldn't say that's why because I highly doubt actual like sponsors that are like word the event like scouting it beforehand. I'm not entirely sure why they're having that much trouble to get sponsors compared like other organizations like MLG. I don't know if they're looking hard enough or it's just maybe it's harder in Europe to get those type of sponsors. But then again, you look at like let's say the I-Series event where they get like 1 million sponsors. Then again, they have PC games, but like just in general, like you have DreamHack and all those, they have like a crap ton of sponsors. Like it's ridiculous. Like
yeah, but do you think like those sponsors like okay, say for instance they got like a really big sponsor, right? And like, do you think that they would still allow that shit talk? Like,
I highly doubt. I mean, I wouldn't see how they would if the sponsors like that. The only way they could if they asked the sponsors if they care or not. But
yeah, because obviously anybody who's like a big organization or a big sponsor, you know, like Sony or something, they obviously have like a code of conduct. They wouldn't want people.
Exactly. No,
you know what I mean? So like that's also something like you got to look at it that way for EGL. If EGL wants to grow, like yeah, that's entertaining, but I think they're gonna have to like that interview with that player. I don't really know who it is, and I hate to go back on it, but
I didn't. See
yeah, of course, and there's sponsor patches all over that guy. You know what I mean? Like I just think that if they want to fully grow are they there to grow or are they there to entertain?
No.
That's my question.
Europeans in general, like they're really like their maturity level as far as like they don't really understand when to stop, and that's one of the big parts, in my opinion, of maybe why some of the teams out there aren't as sponsors that they should be. Obviously, they get a lot of European they represent a lot of European companies, and like SK is like a PC. If Fnatic was one of them, Dignitas. Like some of them are actually like I'm not saying all of them are, but like that I think it was that one team was it Phobia. They were kind of bringing it like there's a few teams out there that really bring it to like a crazy level where they just don't know where to stop, and even then like even I feel like some of the and that's another thing I want to talk about is how crazy Europeans they get affected by shit talking so much. Like it's ridiculous.
Gets in their heads, like they
man, like I was watching was it Prophecy and I think it was Swanee who would like they were talking shit to Swanee. He was like. He told him to shut up while he was playing. Like, if you're you can't let shit like that affect you. Like barely anyone shit talk us, but even if they were, like, even if we gave him something to shit talk about to us, we would like it doesn't affect us. We don't let it affect. We just play the game and whatever happens happens. And I think that's another big part is why people shit talk that much because they go ahead.
What if MLG kind of lax back on that, but upheld even more the professionalism and the handshaking and all that afterwards? You know.
Everyone handshakes in LG, don't they?
Well, I mean, I don't think that it's required. Like when you're on
not required
camera,
in Europe either.
Right.
Yeah, it's not required.
But I'm just speaking hypothetically. You know, like what if they kind of released back a little bit on that, but enforced the professionalism after game
Oh yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not. The thing is, it's not in MLG's hands. Obviously, it's the sponsors' hands. They want to make the sponsors look good. I mean, how does it look when you got people on there swearing and talking shit about personal remarks and not just in-game thing? Like, somebody gets up there, they call him a fat ass. Like, that's
Yeah.
obviously not going to look good for like Hot Pockets and anything else. You know what I mean? Like, it's not really in MLG's hands to allow that. Obviously, they're going to take the more professional route, which what that is a professional league. They're not going to allow that,
Well,
regardless.
I mean,
you know.
I think it also comes into, I think it's better to kind of cut down on the trash talk on some of the main areas at MLG because the college community is young, and if you have like parents bringing their children to these events, paying money, and their influence to these immature teenagers saying, you fucking suck, go suck a cock, you fat ass, get the fuck, eat a donut, shit like that.
40-year-old
They bring personal shit talk into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not only that, but that could really piss somebody off and cause they're fighting words half the shit they say.
Well, I mean,
you know what I mean?
it can just stop parents from spending money to take their
Yeah,
kids to these
exactly.
events.
It's not a good image.
That's what we need. We need all the people we can get. So
yeah, it's not a good image. I do think that they should allow like in-game talk. You know what I mean? Like you suck or something like that. But
They do.
even try
you
to
just can't. You just can't
Well,
really
I don't
call
know,
anyone
man.
out, and you can't cut.
Yeah, you can't like point fingers
they
at
should
anyone.
they should
you
allow.
can't-
Yeah, you should be able to do that though. I think
Yeah.
you should be. You know what I mean? Because it's just good. It just brings out the excitement. But I mean, like
It's part of the
personal
competitive
digs
nature.
and all that stuff is fine. I can understand that, but I think you should be able to stand up, point, give a look and stuff. You know what I mean? Like that. Like, basketball players do it. Football players do it. Like we should be able to do that. It brings like that.
Well, now you're starting to sound like Boss Nasty. I understand what
Oh,
you're saying.
what?
Boss
Why-
Nasty.
Don't ever bring that dude's name up again on this show.
To other sports, real sports. Not saying, I guess maybe I did say gaming is not a sport, but I understand what you're saying. But when you say it like that, you sound like Boss Nasty.
I don't see how he sounded like Boss Nasty. And
Yeah,
I don't want you to ever say that name
I'm
again.
lost.
Like, don't even say it.
Boss Nasty the right to call himself the type of coach, the only real coach the gaming community has. Because all the other coaches, i.e. Hastro, he's just a good assistant. He's not a coach. That's a Boss
Yeah,
Nasty
well,
quote.
that's irrelevant.
He's
Yeah.
Irrelevant. Okay.
Say
But
it
yeah,
like-
Anyways,
I agree with the
yeah.
whole like maybe like we should be able to do. They should allow a bit more as long as it's not really like cussing and stuff like that. I still agree with MLG that should be allowed. Like I think there's a big difference in like lifestyle and community in Europe as far as like how they are. Like they really like they say a lot of bad words like in their actual lives and shit like that. So I don't really see like it's not really that different than them when they go to these events and talk shit to each other and such. Like I don't remember. Has there ever been a fight at a European event? I don't really think like they're all pretty respectful. Like they understand that whatever's in-game talk is in-game talk.
yeah.
And that may be a bit different out here. If let's say we were allowed those rules and where people would talk shit, like there's maybe like the difference in like personality and such of the Americans and North Americans in general. It might be a bit different, and maybe that would cause like a bit more ruckus if someone was to call another guy like ugly and fat or something in the game.
Got bad teeth.
And I don't really feel it.
I mean,
Those type of
there's-
things just don't have their place.
There's been known fights because of that at MLG events, like although they're not like majorly broadcasters, like you see them, I've witnessed them, like
Yeah.
all I'm saying is I heard that Parasite got laid down. That's
that was
all I'm
nothing,
heard.
dude. That was all. That's between. That's like a little hotel thing. That wasn't even at the event.
Yeah, that was at the
It's
hotel.
really
And-
irrelevant
Yeah.
compared to what we're talking about. But, yeah, I'm an avid fan of that. I think I should be able to look at Rambo and be like, oh, I'm better than you. You know what I mean? Like on
Yeah,
stage, like even though like of course we're friends outside of the game, but they've done a lot to like prevent that from the players from doing it. I don't know if it's MLG or it's the refs. I think those referees take their job a little bit too seriously, honestly.
But if you look at Halo 2 nowadays, like if you go on YouTube and just check Halo 2 videos, like look at like Walshing. They used to be able to call out a lot of players and shit. Like they used to like there used to be a lot of shit talking in MLG.
Yeah,
Yeah, but there wasn't as
they
many.
got
they
the major
didn't have the
sponsors, though.
then
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
different.
I think it's a legitimate strategy, though. I mean, if you can get into the head of your opponent and make his game go off because you're calling him out, I think this should be able to happen. In moderation, of course.
Do you guys remember seeing the MTV thing with like True Life with T Squared? Like I know it was a long time ago, but you remember like how it was? Like there was almost a fight erupting. Like that's but it was like in-game talk. You know what I mean? It wasn't like personal stuff.
I make more than your dad, bro.
Yeah. But to me, I didn't see anything wrong with that. Obviously, the whole fighting situation and stuff. C-Square played it smart by walking away, but I thought that was super entertaining, and I think that's why MTV added that in there. There wasn't really anything bad about that. They were just saying each other sucks, and I make more than you, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, it just brings hype to it.
Yeah, there's certain. I'm sure you can still say those things now. It's just you can't. Like, you literally, like, they don't allow a single cuss word, even if you, like, don't really mean it or anything. They just, anything that's really pointing fingers, they don't really allow. Anything else, you can still go, hey, like you can still say you're, like, terrible and shit like that. You can't really point out who you're telling it, even though you know everyone knows who you're saying it.
Yeah, because it might hurt their feelings or some shit. I don't know. It's like, god damn.
Regardless, move on.
But think about hold on. Think about like the whole when like boxing and stuff, like with Floyd Mayweather, like they sit him down, they make him talk shit, like, you know what I mean, like they make him bring each other down. Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, like, but there's major sponsors behind that too, like,
well, shit, I know,
like they're like beer sponsor and shit like that. Like people that drink beer love talking shit.
It happens in every sport.
Like the type of audience, like, I don't know. Yo, you eat your fucking Hot Pockets, bro. Like, it's not like you drink your fucking beer, motherfucker. It's just different. Like, you don't really see shit talk for like Hot Pockets than you do in like Dr Pepper, than you do for like beer sponsors and like I don't know what other sponsors they have for boxing. But normally for like boxing, like UFC and shit, like all the sponsors are like kind of like those, not lowlifes, but like those businesses that have those like backgrounds of people that can
That
be aggressive.
demographic.
Yeah. Not really like nice people type sponsors. But yeah.
All right, now that we talked about shit talking and where it should be at and why it's not where it is there anything else that maybe the viewers or someone? Okay.
I got a question.
All right,
GoldenBoy, what in the world is Team Red Baron? What's going on with that? Like, what's Red Baron doing? Are they stepping up in the community? Or are they just selecting Are they just trying to advertise their certain players? Are they going to be like a major sponsor within somewhere? What's going on with that? And we're going to go to Lake Rambo.
GoldenBoy is not here.
Baron is players and pioneers and communities that are there to represent their product for the time being. There's not really much else to it. We're mainly we're helping out a product that we feel it's really good. If you've ever tried it, it's actually really good. But
Red Baron Pizza.
Just in general, they're helping us out and they're helping the community out in general. I'm not entirely sure to the extent if they'll be here next year. I'm sure they are, though. I've heard different talks about there'll be an actual MLG sponsor that I'm pretty much talking.
Free pizzas at the event.
Here.
Let's go.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, though. That could just be saying things at this point, but that's what I heard.
All I know is that Red Baron's French bread pizzas are like the best ever.
Yeah, they are actually really good.
Yeah,
and mainly they're giving out a lot of stuff for the gamers in general and the community. They're actually doing I've never seen a sponsor so many giveaways in a short period of time. I don't know if you know the stuff you guys saw they're giving out, but it's pretty crazy. Like headset, backpacks, free pizza. Like they pretty much want everyone to try their product, and actually it's really worth trying out for. So they're being real supporters for us and everyone in the community. So that's pretty much what Team Red Baron is.
Apparently whatever they're doing is working, because when you guys were doing your community night the other night, it hit the #1 worldwide trend.
Really? Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. I tell you right now, like it's actually a good product, and I definitely everyone who actually tries it. There's actually it's kind of like I think what Dr Pepper used to do. They have the codes on the product, and you can actually enter the code to win a prize or something.
Right.
And literally everything you enter is win something, no matter what. It could be like another free pizza, or it could be something else. So I suggest everyone to try it.
All right, well, I'm going to start wrapping this up here in the next 5 minutes or so. So if anyone has any questions for anybody in here real quick, since we have them in there, post them in the chat. I'll get them asked.
Did we talk? I'm sure it was talked about, but was the whole John ordeal talked about?
I mean, not really. They kind of decided.
Fear pretty much just denied drama.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
I was actually really intrigued by it. Like, mainly I was reading that Disturdo post, whatever, and the reason you guys, or I'm not sure if you guys or whoever done the team decided to drop them, but it was something about immaturity or something like that. Well, I'm just intrigued. Like, what was the maturity problem with John? Because I mean, you guys have been teaming with him
That's-
for like a year now. Like, wouldn't it have been, like you could have like realized his maturity level like way beyond this point. That's really what
But
intrigues.
this was the thing. Like I knew, Moho knew, but the team, like when we put this team, when they let FizzUp and Killer put this team together, FizzUp just really gave him another chance, you know, and it was just he did the same thing as what he did last year. I don't really want to put it out there because I just feel like it could damage him. You know what I mean?
No, I understand. That's cool.
Let's just put it this way: it was like
you
in-game
know, he's a-
stuff that couldn't be fixed.
All right.
You know what I mean?
I've
be
dealt
honest,
with
like-
players like that before.
Yeah, John is like talented. No one can deny that. You know, it was something that will fix itself as he gets older.
That's
You
fair.
know,
Nothing wrong with that.
That's fair. I think it's a fair answer.
We'll stick with the answer. I guess everyone's satisfied with that. I know I do want to shout out to some of the LAN events going on. The UMG Chicago's going on next weekend, so everyone show up to that. It is 100% payout, so the more people that show, the bigger the payout it is. I know Primetime Gamers is hosting an event on the West Coast. Maybe is that next weekend too, I think?
I think it's the same exact
Yeah,
weekend.
Yeah.
it's the 17th through the 19th.
All right, so they're hosting that next weekend. There's like $5,000 guaranteed prizes or something like that. So if you're on the West Coast and you were bitching about not having LANs last week, there's your chance to go to a LAN. I want to thank all the guests in here. Thanks for APOC and Moho coming on here. I know they're busy guys and have a lot of stuff to do, so I appreciate you taking time out of your night to come on our show. Rambo, thanks for coming on. Always nice having you on. And GoldenBoy.
Taking time away from my League of Legends.
I'm taking time from Rambo's League of
I'm gonna have to
Legends.
come
I
carry you here,
apologize.
Ray.
And GoldenBoy, who went mute over the past half hour, thanks for coming on again, man. Follow
I'm
the
here.
Oh, GoldenBoy's here. All right. Follow the stream. Scroll down. Click on my left middle finger. Follow the
Show
Weekly
Twitter.
Rant Twitter, and I will see you guys on Saturday. Peace out.
Fuck Slider!
Man, dude, stop hating on Slider.